Hello, it's John from the Punters Pal. Just following up on what I promised the other day, I'm going to show you. Uh, there are 5 filters to this. What you can see in front of you now is what I showed you the other day. The overall results from the each way system, as we've christened it. Right. So first of all, you can see that's what more or less what I showed you the other day. There's been a few bets since. And it's basically, I'll let you have a quick look at that. You've seen it before, and just to satisfy yourself, it's the same thing. So as you can see, 1,600 bets, near enough. 444.7 wins, makes a near 28% profit strike rate. Near 1,000, not far off profit. Places is 788, which gives you a place strike rate of nearly 50%. And this more and more interests me. It's just we can't do it because we live in France. But if you can, it looks like you should back these on Betfair, because the difference between that and that, which is what, 1186, 977, 1177 is 209, 210 points. That's just the only reason for that is that they're being backed by the bookies. These as I suspect, this is what the trainers are up to with these quick returning horses. So right, so that's just to remind you, just to refresh your mind about what I showed you the other day, when I showed you how much the bank would go up by and everything. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you a sort of mini system of this, although there are more bets, ironically, that shows 3/5 basically of this system, and it shows what would happen using 3 of the 5 filters. Now to do this, we have to go on to Builder, and we have to go from there to Full Set Extra, and we're on Full Set Extra. Now this is basically the most advanced section of the system builder, but the system is very simple. There's 5, as I say, 5 in all, 5 filters in all, and the one I'm going to show you today is just 3, and it will make in fact I'll show you what it'll make, so that you'll stick with it actually while I drone on. Bear with me. Let's go back to Builder Home, and let's go to no, we have to go right back to our horse race base. We have to go to my systems again, and we have to go, what I've just shown you, the full each way system, is slot 82, which is this one, and I've done a few experiments since then, and I've come up with this as the best way to present it, which is slot 87. So I'll show you the results from this, which should encourage you to keep watching, I hope. And this is basically the three filters, 3 of the 5 filters. This is what would happen using those 5. Now, as you can see, there are more bets because, of course, we've whittled it down for the final each way system. So it's 27 bets, 453 wins. Win strike rate is lower, it's 21% compared to 28. The SP profit is 200 points less. The play strike rate is 10% less, and the Betfair back is roughly 200 points less. So you're not far off the full system here, but with the 2 extra filters, it does make quite a big difference on return on investment. So you're looking at 2,100 bets roughly here, roughly 700 points profit, just to keep the math simple, is a third. So you're looking around 133, 135% strike return on investment, whereas And by the way, this is win only, what I'm showing you, compared with win only from the full each way system. So this is about 135% strike return on investment, compared to about 160% return on investment for the full each way system. So you can see that this is good. This is actually excellent, and probably could sell this, on its own. But the full each way system is better. The return on investment is nearly twice as much. So anyway, I hope you think it'll be worth sticking around to watch it. It'll only take 10 minutes for me, if that, 5-10 minutes for me to show you how to do this, because there's only three filters. So now we go to Builder. And you can see, once I go on it, we need to go into Full Set Extra. And here, first of the filters is simply the day, as we did for the each way one. We're doing 2016, 17, 18, the most recent. Yes. Then the next one is we're going to look for is trainers, because before I go on, I'll just tell you the whole system is based on horses returning from a quick layoff for certain trainers. Because just quickly, since the days of Pipe and Prescott on the flat, Pipe on the jumps, they spring to mind anyway. There were a few trainers who could who could turn out horses quickly and get them to win, and the likes of Pipe and Prescott used to be masters, still are. Well, Martin's retired now. David doesn't do it, but Prescott still is. Masters of running up a sequence and keeping up with their handicapper by putting them out quickly to avoid penalties and such like. Now more and more trainers seem to be able to do that. They basically copied the methods of the masters over the years. I'm talking 80s, 90s, when Pipe and Prescott started with this. And many of them, indeed, there's 62 on our list that we follow. I've got the knack of doing this. I'm not saying they can run up sequences like that, but they can ready a horse after just the one pipe opener, and bang, it goes in next time, under certain conditions, which are my other two filters. So that's all we've got is the years, trainers, and the only other thing we need is, because as I said, we're looking at quick reappearers, and this is last horse, last race categories, blah blah blah. So all we need on there is the days since run, and that's it. So the years, days since run, horses have had 9 days or less. 9, 10. It presents it as 10 on here, but we put 9 in. And scroll down, press go. And here's the results. And you can see it breaks it down into a few subsets. So by year, you can see that this is, first of all, the strike rate is very consistent. You're looking at average 21%, it's just 20 and 22 there. Secondly, you can see the SP profit was 450 nearly that year, 267 nearly that year. And this year, yes, it's true, I like to show things warts and all. I mean, we've not lost, that's 49.51, that's 50 points in a quarter, or nearly a third now, of the year. That's not bad at all. A lot of people would kill for that sort of profit. And when you consider you'd be backing them the way we we suggested not 1 point each, but 1% of the bank going up and down. That wouldn't be bad. If you was to extrapolate that over a year, and well, let's call it a third, we're near the end of April, so that would be 150 points, which I can't go into now, but with a 1% thing, you're probably be looking at a couple of grand at least, just on that. So and the places steady, 42, 39, 42. Again, we're back to Betfair. Well, I won't go into it too much detail, but in each case there, I mean, it's noticeably higher. So, as I say, anyone who's into Betfair can, I would recommend actually you use Betfair probably for this. Although the place ain't great on Betfair though. But I'll leave that to you. Now there's the trainers, but just before we do the trainers, I'll show you the days since run that we did. I've checked some of these boxes earlier, or you'd have just been sat here watching me ticking boxes for 10 minutes, and you probably would have clicked off. So it records it as 6 to 10 days. Our criteria is 9 days or less, and there's not much in it with this anyway. They've recorded it, but as you can see, the strike rate is quite volatile actually, with 1 day on 18%, and the 6 to 10 days on 20%. But the bottom line is profit, and all of them make an SP profit: 1 day, 2 days, the 3 days, 4 or 5 days, and the 6 to 10 days. In fact, the bulk of the profit in points comes from that. But don't let that fool you, because there are a lot more runs. There's 1,500 runs there compared to the rest, where it's about 500, 600 put together. So there's a lot more winners, but from a lot more runners. And indeed, the win strike rate shows you that's 20%, compared to 27% for 3 days. So that's the day since run. Now we're on to the trainers here. This is a bit complicated. What I've tried to show you here, this is only in alphabetical order. There's not, I can't show you the full list on here. It's, well, A, it'd be a mile long, it's 62 of them. But B, is the way it presents it only gives you the top, I can't remember how many it is now. I think it's top 30. So you can see these are I think these are the best performing ones. So you've got Bowen at the top there. They're not in that order, by the way. They're in the order of in alphabetical order. But you can see that they make a profit, with one exception I spotted before. This is one. It's complicated to explain it. With the actual full system, with the other two filters in, Steph Hollingshead makes a profit, but without them she doesn't. She makes a loss, but that's overcome, so that's why that anomaly's in there. But all the rest, you can see, make healthy profits from these sort of horses. So what we're looking at is we're looking at the years 16 to 18. We're looking at horses that have run, all right, according to this, 10 days or less. According to us, 9. We use 9 when we're picking them, but you can see even using 6 to 10 is fine. But a quick reappearance, and with certain trainers who are good at this sort of race, and which we do change from time to time if you know, trainers get new owners who want different types of, who don't want to land gambles, or who, you know, whatever, want to change training method, changing training routine. Big trainer, say, you know, sends his horses to the yard looking for group winners, whatever, that sort of stuff. So that's the basics. Basically that is how we arrived at what I've just shown you, which is, I'll recap, which is this. Those 3 filters and you end up, use those three, you should end up, for anyway, if you've got a horse race page, you can check it. You should end up with this performance, which I've shown you before. I'll show you again just to make sure. Yeah, one I showed you earlier. 21% strike rate, 700 and odd points profit. So that's the mini system, if you like. This is the results from the mini system. There are 500 more bets here. That's whittled down by the 2 extra filters I've used, and that's what I've just shown you achieves basically. So there's a lot, well, more than a little system. There's a good, very good system there in its own right. But I'm guessing that, well, first of all, you haven't got all the trainers. I mean, you're most welcome to use this, and good luck, and you know, you make money on it. But you won't make as much as you would using the full each-way system, which is going to be on offer now. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after. I'll send you an email inviting you to join, to subscribe.